What is good, everybody? We're lit, we live. We here with another episode of Back to the Lobby, where we inform you on the weekly festivities in the FGC between tournaments, news, announcements, and more. I'm ATO Riot, joined by Omega. What's the word?
Yo, what's up?
All right, and between now and last week, we have had a few things happen. Of course, with there being Combo Breaker, the fighting game major held in Schaumburg, Illinois, as well as a character release being Unika and GGST Drive, and a few more to talk about. But for right now, I'm going to go over some highlights from a Combo Breaker. And we have Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, having multiple new and old Titans duking it out in the bracket, trying to get as free as possible for a secured spot for the SK World Championship, because we all know they want that bag. I mean, bro, the pot is 2.5 mil, and we don't see combos like that too often for many titles or many events. Like, are you dumb? Like, you better go get that. But anyways, top 8 had killers and multiple fighting game legends such as Reynolds, Chris G, RB, Federich, Funko, Gamer B, VJZ. However, you know how brackets go, it will always come down to one player who wants it bad enough. And that player was the legend himself, Goichi, with the nasty Marco, falling to Chris G in winter semis 2-0 due to a clutch multi-hitting fireball going through Marco's fireball and getting hit in the recovery. Who, by the way, was the most passionate I've ever seen him, but with the stakes that high and comp like that, I get it. However, Goichi going on a tear game to lose his bracket buff to dominate players in his path, including the likes of Federich 2-1, RB 2-0, then beating Chris G in the run back and loses finals 3-1. Ultimately finishing the bracket with a 6-0 so swift that it had Reynolds straight up perplexed, asking what do I do, and laughing like low key. He's gonna accept that fate at that point. I can't lie. Like, how do you beat Goichi with plot armor, dog? I don't know.
Goichi with plot armor, kinda crazy.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I've never seen like anybody look so lost, but you know, what can you do, bro? Now, clearly, every person in this top 8, and even outside of it, are demons in their own right. I mean, we've seen Reynolds win Evo for a KO of 13, and both Texas Showdown and DreamHack Dallas for a KO of 15. ZJZ winning a Red Bull Kumite for Street Fighter 6. Fenrich winning a City of the Wolves and Central Fiction at the most recent Brussels Challenge. Punko getting 3rd for City of the Wolves for Brussels Challenge, as well as 17th for Sam Show at Evo 2019. And Chris G playing everything under the damn sun. But Goichi was on a special kind of demon time and on a mission, so if you missed on this top 8, it's up right now on the Team Spooky YouTube channel. Next on the main highlights is the MK1 top 8, with Sonic Fox going to lose from a 1-3 loss versus Video Games Yo in winter semis. However, just like Goichi, able to activate plot armor of their own, 3-0ing Mighty Unjust and taking it over Fatal Combat 3-1. Immediately after that, Sonic reverses history and beats Games 3-1. Into having a nail-biter Grands versus another MK time being Rewind. Sonic able to clutch 2 times in a row with 3-2s and ultimately taking the tournament. I wanted to highlight this, however, because if you know Sonic Fox even a little bit, you know this dude has been a young prodigy with so much accomplishments in history across a few MKs. Even recently winning Evo, Texas Showdown, and Pro Competition bracket in Mexico. Surprisingly though, according to their StarGG, they have never won a Combo Breaker for an MK title. Previously, their best result was 2nd for MK11 in 2019 and 2nd for MK1 last year. So, able to break the curse with a very sweaty Grands, so congrats to Sonic once again. Last highlight is the Unity bracket, just because the bracket was kind of crazy, especially with some dark horses in the bracket, on top of the usual suspects to possibly win, and top 8 of course. A lot of grinders made a showing, especially Yonachu on the Seth getting 4th and Riodon getting 7th. However, Legacy prevails once again with Big Black having a strong bracket 4th with Knots, who has been another player that I have heard high regards for from players such as Silent and Defiant. Now, Big Black able to knock Knots down to lose his finals, but Knots down but not out, getting right back up to BB in quick fashion, 3-0ing Snappy, and was on a mission with another 3-0 to reset the bracket. Big Black, however, tying it up and securing the CB win 3-1, showcasing why he's one of the most consistent threats of the scene, so congrats to him. Lastly, for the brackets, going to be going through honorable mentions since the event is obviously one of the most important of every year. And we don't have the time, unfortunately, to cover every single game. So, since it's a big deal, I'm going to go through all the winners over the weekend. Starting with Extreme Zombie, winning Killer Instinct. Enzem winning Dragon Ball Fighters. Zerum winning Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising. Umisho winning Good to Good Strive. Crossing Socks winning Good to Good Rev 2. The Geo winning KOF 15. Mad Blueface winning MVC 2. Kiko Ho winning Multi Blood Tabuna. Rain Lakers winning MKX. Cake Assault winning Ravels of Ether. The Kyosei winning Skullgirls. Lashar winning Street Fighter 6. Chris G winning Third Strike. Josh Men winning Melee. Atada winning Smash Ultimate. Sleepy Global winning Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Mogul winning Tekken 8. Escalante winning Marble 3, Ailerus winning VSAV, Chinpon J winning VF5, and lastly, Nandenbo winning Mystery Game Tournament. So congrats to everybody over the past weekend at Comic Breaker. Next up on the list is going to be Paragonline. Omega.
For this week's Paragon Online Guilty Gear bracket, your winner is a Chaos player from Oni, Krieg, beating out fellow Chaos player Lucian, who brought out their Unika to the table for their top 8 run, who is a new character to the roster. And I cannot lie, that Unika was looking pretty solid. Lucian was able to beat Jeek, Noble Melee player, 3-2 in Losers Finals, and then he went on to face Krieg in Grands, but Krieg beat him out in the end 3-1. Congrats to the top 8, and congrats to Krieg for winning Paragon Online.
Alrighty, and speaking of Unika, I did mention earlier that Unika is the new character in the Strive block, third one to be exact on the season pass. And I guess so far, I'm not gonna lie, she's looking pretty strong. We've already seen characters like Dizzy, Venom, they release, and it kind of left a pretty poor taste in a lot of the play versus Malcolm. Right now, it seems like Unika does seem to be pretty promising. We're seeing comparisons to characters like Soul, Sin, and Kai as well. Very strong conversion ability right now, as well as pressure sequences. But I guess right now, how do you feel so far? I know you actually have played the character, whereas I mainly fought them a lot. Do you feel your character strength is going to be pretty high?
I feel like they have a pretty solid base. I jokingly said that this is Frankenstein Shoto because she has like a little bit of everything from the Shoto characters in the game. Like she has some of Soul's buttons, some of Kai's buttons, some of Sin's buttons. If you want to call Sin a Shoto, but you know she's strong. She's strong. She might struggle in some matchups, like all characters do, but I do feel like that she's not weak, but she's not super oppressive gorilla mode, if you catch my drift.
Yeah, no, I get you. From the minigames I've fought against her, she seems definitely weak to system mechanics, mostly being obviously your FDs. I know she has a string where she'll do. I don't know the moves on my head. I actually need to still watch LK's guide to figure out what moves are what right now, and those will still be updated. But I know she had a string where she would go for a bun and then have like that retreating fireball follow up. If you IBFD the first move, she actually gets like launched full screen, and you have even a bigger gap to act. So you have things like that. And just in general, she has, if you space her out enough, you can actually challenge her a lot of the time. So yeah, it does seem like she has to play around mechanics pretty often. But of course, the average strength player should be used to that by now, but a lot of players are not because, you know, they're bots. But I think right now, pretty much what you said, I also like the Frankenstein comparison, considering, you know, we somehow glossed over talking about May 5H being in her kit as well. She also has Thunderbird, because why fucking not, right? Then she also has Hoof Stomp as well. So it's pretty insane. You know what she has as well as what can. Oh wow, I said this and her. Yeah, okay. So it's her 5H follow up looks like, with the retreating fireball. Yeah, as I say
after Arbalest, or after she goes in Arbalest, or just her raw.
Looks like after 5H.
Probably after Arbalest.
Yeah. Okay. I said all this and then yeah, pretty much they got updated just as I speak. So yeah. Yeah, that's definitely how I feel right now. She's definitely solid. As far as I did play a lot of Axel versus Unika game against him, and like I said, it feels honestly like a Axel versus Sin, where it's like full screen. I can't really zone like that. I mean, she does have a full screen fucking beam that eats both my Renton and my Tornado. Well, no, it eats Tornado. Versus Renton, it kind of just ignores it. But obviously, you know, with her being a little bit higher of a attack level or class level, I mean, I can't really use either of my moves like that. Now, Renton, obviously, I have a bit more leeway to throw out. But Tornado, no, obviously. Mid range, I'm having to gamble and look out between, you know, Let me actually get the actual move names for the damn thing. Oh, I think it's top attack and penetrate. I think those are the ones. Yeah. All right. So I have to pretty much look out for those the entire time, as well as like IADs. But the neat thing about this matchup as well, though, and I guess the bad thing about the character is her buns are really juiced, but they're really laggy. Like she is extremely easy to whiff punish, like to the point where if you miss a whiff punish, I'm gonna look at you crazy, right? Like you're not okay. You need to get checked out, pretty much. Kind of whiff punish, right? So yeah, I think that's gonna be something for a place to play around. I guess with her being as solid as she is right now, she has to have drawbacks, which is something that Arcs is allergic to giving characters apparently. But yeah, her buns being as laggy as they are is going to be a downside. But I believe as of right now, that's all we can really talk about the character, unless there's anything else to mention besides, I guess, her supers. I will say her weapons free super is pretty neat. I hope to see that. I have to see that more, which would be nice. But yeah, unless you have anything to add to the character, you'll be done here. You have anything?
No, I think she's pretty straightforward. I don't think there's labbing, but well, know that she's been out for longer if we when we talk about it.
Yeah.
But I think she's straightforward to a point where like, she's not like Dizzy, where like, oh, we got to lab out all these different scenarios, even for the character just to be mid, arguably like F tier. But she has a spot, so that's from what I can gather from the short time playing her. Things can change. She might end up in the upper echelon if some scummy stuff is found out. But for now, she's strong character, has some flaws, but definitely not egregious.
Yeah, definitely agree. We're gonna have to let time cook as always. Of course, character just came out about 3 days ago. We are seeing some labbers at work though. Of course, Tekamek doing work, but they're able as well. We're actually seeing her quite a bit. Obviously, like we mentioned before, with Lucian playing her AAD Paragonline bracket. But nonetheless, with that being said, we're going to go into our clip of the week. So here y'all go.
Here it's strip one away from BSG. Yeah, so close, but watch out for this meter. I was going to say we have TP to escape, but instead not spending it. Fine with the spacing there, but BSG pulls up with an ultimate command grab. The overhead check. No one does three. Oh, no. The double fuse lit? Are you kidding me? I'm seeing that one on my For You page later. I'm sorry, Elsa.
Alrighty, I hope you all enjoyed that clip for the week. Make sure y'all submit your clips to the In the Lab FGC Twitter account, which will be posted at some point on your feed. But Omega, where can people find you at?
You catch me over on Twitter at Xeno_Alpha Omega, and here hosting In the Lab and Back to the Lobby. You can also add me on Marvel Rivals, Alpha_Omega. Ultron just came out, so I need to grind that.
Real. As for me, you can find me at ATL Riot on Twitch and TikTok, and ATL Riot _ on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure y'all subscribe and share it around all platforms, and tune into this every Friday. I know it's not Friday by the time you're looking at this, but please ignore it. God damn it. Here on the In the Lab FGC YouTube channel. With that being said, keep me out.
Peace.